Before the first whistle even blew, Ramsey wasn't just warming up. He was staging what looked like a full-blown NFL intervention. The man was pacing like a preacher before kickoff, rallying the crowd, shouting out Shedeur's name like he was running for office. It wasn't just hype, it was a declaration. Fans were screaming, cameras flashing, and right in the middle of it, Ramsey threw out that now famous watch gesture, the one that says, "You're late. It's Shedeur's time now." Gabriel became the unpaid extra in Ramsey's highlight reel. Every snap felt personal. Every hit had purpose. Ramsey was out there proving a point no one dared say out loud, that the league was sleeping on Shedeur, and he was done letting it slide. By the final whistle, Ramsey looked like a man who'd cracked the NFL code. He was glowing, laughing, throwing shade, but everyone knew exactly what he meant. Gabriel didn't measure up. So when Ramsey, now a Steeler, pointed at Shedeur after that sack, it wasn't just a celebration, it was a signal. Within minutes, the clip went viral. Memes, edits, slow-mo replays everywhere. But under all that noise, one truth echoed. Shedeur Sanders isn't just part of the story anymore. He is the story.
So if those plays are intercepted, it's a different game altogether, and we're calling for Shedeur Sanders.
Every drive felt like punishment. Every third down felt like fourth and forever. Look at the sideline. Heads down, hands on hips. The Steelers looked alive. The Browns looked lost. And remember what Tony Grossi said? Dillon Gabriel is more NFL ready than Shedeur Sanders. Really? If this is what ready looks like, then Cleveland better hand those keys to someone who can actually drive. Because the fans see it, the locker room feels it, and the league knows Shedeur Sanders is built for this moment. Drop your take below. Is it time to stop protecting Gabriel's feelings and start protecting the future? Drop SS 100% if you're riding with Shedeur.
I mean, he's funny, he's optimistic, he's lighthearted, but he works hard. He takes it seriously, his craft, and he's watching what the others are doing, doing it in his own way in which only he can. So looking forward to see him during these preseason games and how he manages the offense. But I think he looks good, but all the guys look good right now.
That's the kind of quote that says a lot without trying to say too much. He's funny, he's lighthearted, but don't get it twisted, he's locked in. That's Shedeur Sanders in a nutshell. He'll crack a smile in the huddle, then throw a dart that shuts the whole field up. He's watching how veterans move, learning the system, but still doing it his way, with that calm, precise, unbothered energy that you just can't teach. That's the difference between a guy who's happy to be here and a guy who's meant to be here. And these preseason snaps, they're not just warm-ups. They're previews of a takeover. Because once he starts managing this offense like he's been training to all his life, the conversation in Cleveland won't be if he starts, it'll be how soon. They said Shedeur Sanders was too calm, too composed, too young. But every vet who's been around him, they see it, they feel it. He's funny, he's lighthearted, but they say he takes it seriously. He's watching the others, learning, doing it his way. And then you got Jalen Ramsey out there turning game day into a full-blown theater piece. 1 second, he's roasting Dillon Gabriel mid-game. Next, he's hyping up Shedeur on the sideline, like a proud big brother. That's not random energy, that's respect. Ramsey knows real when he sees it. He's been in locker rooms with legends, and he's looking at Shedeur like, that one right there, he's next. Meanwhile, Gabriel can't move the ball. 23-9, Steelers dominated. The NFL ready experiment looked more like a slow-motion collapse. So while Cleveland sits in silence, Shedeur's stock keeps rising. Quietly, confidently, like a storm that hasn't hit yet. Because when the vets start believing in you, when stars start putting their name on your future, that's not hype, that's confirmation.
Because I don't know what he do. He went to the sideline and pointed to Shedeur. You need to be out here. Like, you out here. I was like, whoa, whoa. Shout out to Jalen Ramsey. So he was trying to tell you that Shedeur need to be the one in the game. Don't forget, the question is, should Shedeur Sanders start versus Miami? That's the question that I have.
Jalen Ramsey, a man who talks with his chest every Sunday, went straight to the sideline, pointed, and said, Shedeur, you need to be out here. That wasn't subtle. That wasn't for show. That was a message. When a Super Bowl vet, a Pro Bowl corner, a voice of the locker room says that on live TV, it means something deeper than words. He wasn't just defending Shedeur, he was exposing the truth. This team is holding back the one guy built for this moment. Think about it. The scoreboard said 23-9. Gabriel couldn't move the ball, couldn't connect, couldn't breathe in that pocket. Meanwhile, Ramsey's on the field calling out what the coaches want. Translation? Even the opponents see what Cleveland's too scared to admit. Shedeur Sanders' stock just skyrocketed, and he didn't even have to touch the field. That's how real presence works. That's leadership that speaks without a snap. So let's stop dancing around it. Should Shedeur Sanders start versus Miami? Because right now, every player, every camera, every fan, they already know the answer. Jalen Ramsey didn't just make a play, he made a point. He went to the sideline, pointed straight across the field, and basically told the entire stadium, Shedeur, you need to be out here. That wasn't subtle. That wasn't accidental. That was a veteran star turning the game into a microphone and the moment into a message. And in that instant, Shedeur Sanders' stock skyrocketed without him even touching the field. Presence did what statistics couldn't. Respect moved faster than the ball. This wasn't about one tackle. It was a statement, loud, public, and honestly hilarious. Ramsey turned the afternoon into a live audition, and Shedeur was the headliner, even in street clothes. He didn't just sack a quarterback, he flipped the narrative. Every snap felt personal, every hit had purpose. Ramsey was out there campaigning, turning grass into a stage, turning the scoreboard into a billboard for Team Shedeur. By the final whistle, everyone knew what he meant. The position was being rented by the moment. The future already had an owner. And that's the part Cleveland can't keep dodging. Jerry Jeudy stepped to a mic and said the quiet part out loud. Shedeur is locked in, professional, calm, earns respect. That's not a compliment, that's a signal. When receivers start vouching for you in public, the locker room has already made its choice. Leaders don't need announcements, they create alignment. You can feel it in how the room sits up when he walks in. That's hierarchy, that's gravity. That's what a franchise looks like when it finally recognizes a center of mass. But upstairs, it's all process and development. Translation? Fear. Fear of change. Fear of being wrong when the kid with the prime pedigree makes them rewrite the script. And that's the core tension in Cleveland. Image versus authority. Who controls the narrative when the most composed person in the building is the rookie? They'll call it patience, they'll label it protection, but everybody else calls it what it is, stalling. Meanwhile, around the league, the respect is real. Ramsey put his name on it mid-game. Others have co-signed the kid in their own way. Vets noticing the details, how he watches, how he listens, how he turns notes into habits and habits into weapons. He's funny, he's lighthearted, but he's serious about the work. He studies the room like a chessboard and then moves like he's been here before. That's the difference between noise and signal, between hype and hunger. And the double standard? It's screaming. When certain quarterbacks show swagger, they're fiery. When Shedeur shows composure, he's too polished. When others build a brand, it's vision. When Shedeur protects his image, it's ego. Miss me with that. Confidence isn't arrogance when the preparation is airtight. The way he manages heat without losing heartbeat, that's not PR, that's pedigree. That's prime taught, self-authored, and earned. Back to Ramsey. The reason that gesture hit like thunder is because it confirmed what so many were already whispering. The league is not just watching Shedeur, it's waiting on him. Edits flew, timelines cooked, the moment went viral. But underneath the memes was a truth you can't outrun. Shedeur isn't just part of the story anymore. He is the story, not the drama, the direction. When stars on other teams are pointing your way, when your own receivers are backing you publicly, when the crowd is begging the headset to catch up, that's not hype, that's inevitability. And look at Shedeur's response through it all. Silence. Not the performative kind, the professional kind. No cryptic posts, no theatrics, just work, film, footwork. Footnotes turning into first reads. He's studying for games he hasn't even been promised. That's hunger dressed like patience. That's the blueprint that flips franchises. Build the answers before the question gets asked. So here we are, Cleveland at the crossroads. This choice isn't tactical anymore. It's cultural. It's about who gets to define leadership in this building. Do you keep running the safe, predictable system that everyone can scout in their sleep? Or do you hand the keys to the one person who makes the room feel sharper, calmer, and more dangerous just by being there? The fans feel it, the players feel it, the opponents feel it. The only hesitation lives upstairs. Meanwhile, Shedeur's reputation is doing the talking for him. Peers respect what they see. Coaches see the processing. Teammates see the presence. And the city sees the possibility. He's turned admiration into expectation, the rarest conversion in pro sports without begging for a headline. That's how legends start. Not with fireworks, but with friction. The kind that grinds rough edges into sharp edges, and sharp edges into Sunday answers. Be honest, is this about talent or control? Is this about readiness or fear? Cleveland, the clock isn't counting down on Shedeur. It's counting down on your excuse. Give the kid the ball. Let the city breathe. Let the locker room follow the gravity it already feels. Drop your take below. Should Shedeur start versus Miami? And if you're riding with the future, comment SS 100% so they can hear you from the top floor.